ARB meeting. First order of business is to approve the minutes from our December meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I approve.
A second?
I second.
Okay. All right, the first item is our old business, 88 Southern Parkway, which is 11AR-1-20. Add a small mudroom to rear of house. This was postponed. Oh, it was postponed to February, apologies. Okay. All right, now I can't see the agenda anymore. Hang on a second. I don't want to be in full screen here because I need to be able to see. Okay, so we're going with 1AR-1-20, right? 54 Shoreham Drive, Jack Sigrid? Okay, is Jack here?
Hey, Jeff, why aren't these -21?
They are on the updated agenda. Stuart pointed that out to me as well.
Sorry about that. I'm
I'm
reading
looking
it,
at it.
so it would be 21. Okay, Jack,
Yes. Can you hear
go
me?
for it. Yes, please give us an overview of your project and so we can.
Okay, I just have a little box here, but I know the project. It's on Shoreham Drive. It's 54. It's a first floor library that they have now. They want to put an addition on the second floor over the library. The library is a flat roof addition. It's a 12 by 14 addition. It's going to match all the materials that the house was built with. It's got a little freeze board and a piece of trim and another board up over the second floor windows. We'll continue that look on the addition towards the front, which is the same way the house is now. And then we'll put another window on the side, and then we'll decide what's going to happen on the windows on the back. But right now, we're not showing any windows.
Can you tell us about the existing and proposed materials?
There are shingles on the outside, and it's 4-inch trim around the windows and the door. I guess the door is a little bit different, but it's basically, as you can see from the photograph, it's behind the tree where the addition would be. And they're going to match. We're going to match the roofing. We're going to match the trim. We're going to match the shingles. We'll even match the shutters for the front windows, which will be the same as well. Front window.
Do you have a plan for the roof drainage and the downspouts on the addition?
Yes.
Thanks, Jeff.
Anything? I mean, do you need more?
Are you showing them on the drawing? I can't see.
I can't see them. I don't think they're on the drawing.
Okay.
But I know where we're going to be putting them. I actually live across the street. I can see the addition from my house, so I'll keep an eye on it.
All right, so I'm just going to go around and see if anyone has any questions. Chris, do you want to start?
Yes, I'll start. So I'm noticing on the east elevation, there's a detail where the roof wraps around, which looks, so the existing, that would be on both sides of the gable. On your proposed, you're only showing that on one side. What is the thinking behind that?
Well, the left-hand side would be up against the house, so there would be none there. Or are you talking about the front and back?
I'm talking about the east elevation, which is the side. If you look at the gable, you have a detail at the eave that's
Correct.
not repeated on the right side. It's only on the left.
The right side is on the back of the house and, I mean, we can put it there, but it isn't there now on the house.
Well, it is there now. If you look at your photo, you have it, it's balanced on the gable on the east side.
Then, I made a mistake and we'll put it on.
Okay. Then my second question, you mentioned the windows on the back. You're not sure yet. Again, looking at the photo, it looks like that would be an awful lot of blank wall without a window. And the one existing window on the inside corner, if you could scroll down to the photos, this will make more sense. There, that one. Backup one. That one. Right, so if you look, the elevation was,
See it. Sorry.
I guess you don't
That's
have
all.
annotation, you don't have annotation enabled, Jeff?
All right, I think it should be okay now.
Thank you.
Uh,
So,
We are putting trim around the back of the house. Yeah,
but this whole area right now is shown as just siding. It's very difficult to draw quickly when everyone's watching and using a mouse. So you've got the one window over here, and then you've got nothing basically from here all the way to the corner. But you mentioned that you were going to figure out the windows.
well,
Right now, you weren't
there's,
showing any. Do you have any thoughts about what you might do?
if you look at my PDF, it says no window version that I sent.
Yeah, it does.
But we had plans for putting some, a window on the right-hand side, which would be right between, to be close to the back of the house, so that would break that wall up. We don't know yet if we're putting another window in because there's going to be a tub up against the wall as well. I think we're only going to do one on the, which would be, if you can go to the floor plan. See where the vanity is in the master bath?
Mhm.
We're going to now probably put the powder room in the back of the building and put a window in that little room. And we might put either a tub or a small shower where the towel is, but I don't think a window's going to work there because there isn't enough wall space.
I'm not following you. So you're saying this is going to end up here potentially?
No, just the toilet room, not the shower. But I mean, and in fact, it might be the same thing, but it's a different configuration.
And how does that create a problem for the window?
Pardon me?
Are you saying that this precludes a window?
No, we can get one window in. That'll be, to simplify, let's put the window where the 36-inch vanity on the back wall is, because that's pretty much where it's going to end up.
You're
So
just
that
saying
won't-
you're not sure at this point where exactly it's going to go, just based on what you're moving around.
Yeah, I mean, you can move the little hand up to the back wall, and that's exactly where it's going to go.
But just to be clear, you're not proposing that you're taking away one of the other windows, right?
Correct.
Okay.
We're still going to have the two windows, and we're not touching the window in the master bedroom. It'll just be an additional window by the vanity.
Any other questions, Casey?
No, none at all. Thank you.
Brian,
Nope, all set.
Fran?
No,
Okay, so you guys usually ask if they're gonna center the window over the door, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen, according to what we just heard.
It's in the rear, so I don't struggle with it, especially because when we looked at the other window on the existing house, it's kind of tight into a corner, so that doesn't bother me so much on the rear.
Okay, any other comments or questions? No?
No.
Okay, thank you, Jack. We'll deliberate at the end after we've reviewed all the cases. If you want to be present, that's fine.
Will you open it up when we're done, when you're done?
We won't open it up for you. We will discuss among ourselves. You may listen and otherwise you can call in the morning and find out your verdict, okay?
We'll contact you either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. All right, so we're moving on to 1AR-2.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're moving on to 1AR-2-21, 575 South Winton Road. Jim Fay, are you here, Jim?
Yeah, one second. Also, Stuart's in the.
Yep, keep going, Mary. I'm still setting up.
Okay. I don't know if Jim Fay is here.
He's here.
Actually, hello.
Hi,
Hello?
Jim.
Oh, there he is.
Hi. It's actually my name is David Yeaman. I'm standing in for Jim Fahey. He wasn't able to meet the meeting tonight.
Okay, David, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Okay, why don't you give us a rundown here?
Okay. Wendy Frieda and Bruce Dan currently live at 575 Winton South Road. They purchased 561, which is next door. They plan on combining the two lots and then ultimately knocking them both down to build the new home on the combined property. We have received variance approvals for all the variances requested. I believe it was 2 curb cuts, the rear yard setback of 35.5 feet where 40 is required, a temporary revocable permit to allow the Dans to live at 575 while the new home is constructed, followed by demolition of 575 before the final C of O is granted. Kind of the house, it's a 3,500 square foot house, English Tudor, to complement the general theme of the neighborhood. The finishes are per the exterior material list that we sent out. And yeah, that's basically all the information that Jim has given me as far as that. I have some other information on it. We also have an attached garage, obviously on that, and then we have this detached garage that is off to the one side that we are also going to be basically demolishing and then rebuilding into a hobby garage for Bruce Dan.
Stuart, are you ready to jump on the saddle?
Sure. Mary, keep going. I'm still trying to get my agenda posted.
Okay, just let me know.
Sorry about this.
All right, let's just go through. Fran?
Can we see the elevations of the other garage? The separate garage.
I think those.
Right there they are.
Okay.
Now, Jeff, we don't technically look at the detached garage, is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's a new build. I would look at the whole composition.
Especially given the difference in scale, right, between a
Yeah.
detached garage and that structure.
Right.
So I do have a question. Have they gotten all their subdivision approvals yet? Or their reverse subdivision?
Not yet. I think once planning board approves.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
Would have been nice to see a photograph of the adjacent homes.
Could probably pull it up on Google Earth.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
So, we haven't gotten into any materials on this. What is the cultured stone going to be like? What is your roofing material? Do you have real dormers?
Yeah, they gave me a list of all the materials here.
Yeah, they're at the end.
Yeah, it's on the last page.
Could you blow that up a little bit, Jeff, please?
Are there samples to go with this?
They were not samples. With he said, I asked him about the rendering. He said the rendering is accurate as he could get it to the colors that they are doing.
Yes, the 3D rendering, the color was matched to the actual exterior materials and the Sherwin William paint colors on the palette, I guess on the exterior material palette.
Jeff, can you excuse my ignorance here, but is this a corner lot?
No, there's not.
Okay.
So just a quick question, just for clarification. Do you actually intend on kind of patching in the stone? I'm assuming that this is just an applied manufactured stone, right? Not real stone?
Yeah, it is a I believe you're correct on that. Right, it is a manufactured stone. Yes. Are you referring to how it's kind of piecemealed into the stucco area?
Yes.
The turret.
Yeah. Also on the side elevation, I saw it.
Yeah, correct. It's also on the side elevations as well. Yes. We've been talking with the builder, and yes, that's going to be a Stowe power wall stucco veneer, and then this stone is going to be piecemealed inside of that. Yes.
Have you done that before? I mean, does it look successful, or is this the first time?
Yes, we have done that before, and with this builder as well.
Okay.
Jeff, I have another question. And has our moratorium been lifted on purchase and demo and rebuilding on these homes? I know we had one activated a number of years ago, and I don't ever recall it being lifted. So I'm just wondering if you know that or not.
I don't personally know, but I know that this project did have to go through planning board and zoning board, so I'm sure that if it was an issue, they would have caught that.
Anyone on the board remember?
You mean the McMansion rule?
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't know that it has sunset.
Yeah, I don't know if it ever got lifted. Hate to bring it up, but
Oh, I can ask Ramsey tomorrow.
I think based on Jim's other projects that he's had that I can think of in the past 5-6 years, he's had other ones torn down and rebuilt. So I don't know that it's been an issue.
none of them have been oversized. This is 2 lots joining. A lot of those are other ones that have been partially demoed or about the same square footage.
I think there was one though, I think 1 or 2 that
Up
had
on Mill
merging
Road.
lots.
or-
Yeah, Mill Road, he had the one project. But I don't think that was 2 lots. I think that was 1 lot.
Right. So I'm pretty good with everything so far on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any questions on it.
How about you, Chris?
No, I think the drawings are pretty clear. I don't have any questions for the architect.
And Mary, you're good?
Yes.
Okay. Mary, do you want to close it out and I'll take over 1AR03?
Yeah, so we'll be deliberating about this after, and you're welcome to be present for that. Otherwise, you can call Jeff in the morning, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, next on the agenda is 1AR-03-21. James and Mary Alice Ringo, 99 Westland Avenue. Are they or their representative here? And Mary, thank you for leading the meeting off. Sorry I was late.
You're welcome.
Are the Ringos online?
This is Mary Alice Ringo. I expected to have the architect, Teresa Bender from Architectura,
Okay.
here.
What's the name?
Teresa Bender.
Okay. Yep, she's good.
Mary Alice, would you like to start at least? Oh, Teresa Bender is raising her hand.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Hi, Teresa. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. I'm representing Mary Alice Ringo and her husband Jim. They would like to put a front porch on their existing home. Right now they have a small 5-foot by 5-foot stoop. She really enjoys her neighborhood. She would like to have more community by putting her porch on the front and being able to sit out and enjoy her neighborhood a little bit more often. We're not looking to put any windows on the front or a new door. We're just looking to put in a nice big porch. It does clear all the setbacks. We also, with the roof line, her existing roof line in the front stoop has a jerkin head roof line. We'd like to kind of bring that onto the new roof so that it supports the existing house and the character of the existing house. The porch will have a FIPON wrap or equivalent to that, so that way the porch is pretty well self-maintainable and easy to clean and pretty pleasing to the eye from the street.
Are you going to have them finished ceiling on that?
Yes, they're looking to just do the wood wainscot on the top.
Yep.
Yep.
And how about lighting fixtures? Anything happening there?
We haven't really talked too much about the lighting, but we are definitely wanting to put lighting on the front. I know Mary Alice has said, you know, she wants to make sure that people see her house number. It's kind of hard to see at the moment too with her small fixture, so we want to be able to light that front porch up a little bit.
Okay, what's happening in the back? I see a demolition plan, west elevation.
Yeah, in the back, they're going to be doing addition, but we can't see that from the front.
Even on the edge of the driveway?
On the edge, you can see part of the wall, yes.
Okay, so that's, we'd still have to review that.
Yeah,
Okay.
there also seems to be changes on the side of the house that would be visible. There's removal of 2 windows. It looks like 1 or 2 new windows.
Yeah, 2 windows in the kitchen.
Can you run us through that, please?
Sure. In the back, if you look at the demo drawing of the floor plan. So existing, there's a small sitting space.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. So right now there's a small sitting space that she sits 8 to 10 people in, and it's pretty small and awkward, and it's comfy and she enjoys it, but she's looking to make it a bigger space so she can have more room with her grandkids and when her family's visiting. Right now their kitchen is pretty tight and they don't plan on making it any bigger. They're just looking to put new cabinets and an island in. But we're talking about the layout of the kitchen and how it functions.
So this is all internal, right?
Right.
So you don't actually put demo in and put an addition on or anything?
So, right, in the kitchen, we're moving the stove over to the exterior wall. So that
Okay,
way it can be vented. And then because of that, we'd like to separate the windows a little bit so they're on either side of the stove. So she
Okay.
still gets her lighting in there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mary, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Thank you. Oh, except for the, I'm sorry, I meant to ask about the gutters and the downspouts on the porch.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't show them that, but there will be a gutter on the one side of the porch, the longer edge with a downspout.
Brian, Mary, you all done?
Yeah.
Okay, Brian?
I didn't have any additional questions. Thanks.
Okay, Chris?
No, my questions were answered by other people's questions, so thank you.
Okay, Casey?
On the north elevation, can you explain where the height of the new windows are coming from? They don't seem to align
Right.
with anything else on that
Right.
side.
So the ceiling is fairly high. It's about 8'10". These, if I had interior pictures to show you, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, page 3, Jeff.
There you go. So interior wise, the windows, there's probably about a 1 foot gap, and then there's molding from where the existing windows are. So for the windows on the other side, for them to make sense, they have to be above the countertop. And then she wants them to go to the ceiling almost. So there's probably 6 inches of molding and then the windows begin. So that's why they look so high compared to the other ones. There's just a lot of space between the sill height and the molding in the existing house.
Okay. And then this addition is actually flushing out with the house,
Yes,
the existing house wall, as opposed, because right now the demoed area steps back.
right. They step back. We're pushing the wall out more because of the gas fireplace.
Okay. So now your new roof is now wrapping across
Correct.
the existing face.
Correct.
Okay. And this is all, are they doing brand new siding or you're just matching?
They're matching existing.
Okay.
Yep.
Casey, you all set?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, Fran?
Can you Please walk me through the design on the rear roof, the way that the fascia, it seems to be a gable that it seems to end like a gable.
Yes, it does. We are trying to put a jerkin head in the back as well, but the roof line is too low for that. But Mary Alice really likes the gable feel. She just wanted some kind of excitement in the back, some interest. So when she's out gardening, she likes the look of the way the house looks.
Did that answer your question, Fran?
It did.
Okay.
And then on the front, you have a 1'5" overhang on the porch. How does it, with the main roof on the house, is that the same overhang?
Yes, yes. The
Okay.
overhang on the main house is fairly large.
1'5". Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any other questions? So you can call Jeff's office first thing in the morning and get our answer. You're more than welcome to stick around and watch us deliberate. You won't be able to participate in that, but
That's fine.
Appreciate you presenting this evening,
Yes, thank you.
and you'll have your answer tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks, Mary Alice.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is 1AR-4-20, 890C Westfall Road, John Standing, an ADA railing installation. Mary, you're going to have to lead this. I've got to recuse myself on this.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate it. I've done work with John, so.
Oh, all right.
Okay,
Well,
so have at it.
Why
Hi.
don't you just run us through dimensions, materials, and all the, what you have on the drawing real quick?
Sure. What we want to do is that the building just sold, or the unit just sold. We had an architect draw up the ADA compliant specs for the railing and the ramp itself. Right now, that's the only office left there with a step up to get into the door. So I believe trying to read the specs on my screen is kind of small, but
Thanks, Jeff.
okay. Because this would have to go across the sidewalk to actually reach the slope where it is now. I believe it's 12 foot total. And we put a metal railing, ADA compliant metal railing, painted to match the trim on the building, which I think was something that you guys required for approval of one around the corner at Office D. It's a doctor's office moving from another building in the same project. Let's see.
I can't see the slope on this. I can't read it.
So 1 to 12.
1 and 12.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically, it's the same dimension, same size as the one that was approved, I want to say back in August at 890D. Same architect, it'll be the same mason and same steel contractor doing the railing as well.
Okay, who wants to ask a question, if anyone? Fran?
I'm good, thank you.
Brian?
The existing downspout, does that go right to the main?
That one, yes, that one does. There are some on the building that do not, but on that side of the building, it does.
Okay.
Casey?
I'm all set, thank you.
All right. Chris?
Sorry, I didn't.
Siri thought I was talking to her.
Oh, I was like that.
Chris,
That's not
do
me.
you have any
No, I'm
comments?
fine.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, John, thank you. I guess we have what we need to look this over, and you can either come back, hang around, be present at the deliberation, or you can just call Jeff tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for coming.
Have a good night. Thank you.
You too. Okay,
Thanks.
Stuart, back to you.
Okay, next is 1AR05-21, 374 Hollywood Avenue. Convert a screen porch to a foyer and a bath. David Burrows, are you and your client here?
I'm here. Ron Goldman should be here also.
Yeah, Ron, I'm also here, Ron Goldman.
Okay, well, welcome. Happy New Year, David and Ron. Do you guys want to go ahead and start presenting?
Sure. Ron, you want to go ahead?
Sure. So I bought this house about 1.5 years ago, and there's only one full bath in the house on the second floor. So I thought it would be really nice. And there's also basically a toilet in the basement, but there's no powder room or bathroom on the first floor. So I thought it'd be a good idea to have a bathroom on the first floor. The porch itself is a screened-in porch, and really we never use it. Also, in the rear of the property, there's a pool, a small built-in pool with a patio, and this would be converted to a full bath and a powder room, or a full bath, but also a little changing area, you know, that would allow the kids to change and go to the pool, you know, from this bathroom. And basically that's it.
Mary, you have any questions?
No, I've looked at this before. So all the windows are going to be aluminum, right?
No, they're going to be Anderson 100, which is a Fibrex or fiberglass.
Oh.
It's a pre-finished brown that looks the same brown as the other windows on the house. The profile of these windows is narrow to match that of the screens. So it'll appear as close as we can get it to the existing screened-in effect.
Okay, and you're showing the stucco pattern that you see through the window because it's on the wall that is inside the screen porch, the existing screen porch, right? It's smooth on one side, or there's a chimney, right?
Right, so the stucco that's in the panels where we aren't putting the windows will match the stucco on the house. And right, it's the same as the stucco inside the screen-in porch.
Okay.
You all set, Mary?
Yes, thank you, Stuart.
Brian?
I'm all set.
Okay, Chris?
So I'm a little curious on the choice of stucco on the panel infills. I get like the stucco everywhere else, but if we're trying to maintain some of the look of that screen porch, did you look at any other material other than stucco? I'm talking about just for the areas of the window infills on the side and rear.
Actually, yes. I was offering or suggesting that we make them look more like the glass, but Ron prefers to have stucco in those. It's a matter of, I think, paint color we could vary somewhat.
Well, so, okay. Do you want to share any of the other ideas or not?
They would be painted plywood is what I was suggesting, with just applied trim to resemble the pattern that the screens now have. So the option, I guess to answer your question, Chris, I was proposing painted plywood and Ron would prefer to go with stucco. And Ron, correct me if I'm wrong about that.
I did say that only because the rest of the house was stucco, but I'm totally flexible, to be honest with you, with that part, you know. I would rely upon your judgment, your judgment, because I want it to look as good as it possibly could. And if you guys suggest something different for that particular area, I'm fine with that.
So Chris, what would you suggest?
I have to be careful, don't I, David? We don't try to design these things. I was just, to me, it seemed like an odd choice because you're stepping from the mass of the stucco into something that's mimicking a window frame, which is then infilled again with something of mass. You know, it is perhaps along the lines of the painted plywood. I don't, you know, if you're asking me, and I'm speaking as me on the street and not me on the ARB, I might think about like a cement board panel, something like a hardy panel that's going to weather a little better than painted plywood. But you know, I don't want to cross the line in terms of making suggestions or design direction. It just, to me, it seemed like an odd choice.
Yeah, I think
my only thought was, and I don't, you know, my only thought was was consistency, but you know, because the rest of the wall behind the garage is all stucco, but I'm kind of liking the idea now of maybe doing something different.
Well, I think the point that, if I'm correct, that Chris was making is this appendage of the house, the screen porch, had a little bit of a different look and wasn't trying to meld into the general mass of the house. And so by doing something that would be historically more coherent rather than coherent to what's adjacent to it, might preserve the quality of the house more. I think if I captured that right.
That makes sense to me.
So
Definitely
here's back to my original, if I can interject, my concept was to make them look like glass. And if we did use a hardy or a fiber cement panel and painted it gray so that from a distance it blended in and appeared like glass, that's something I would go for. And it would still be weather resistant like stucco, but appear more transparent than the stucco itself and be in contrast to the stucco like the glass now is.
Right. So I think kind of we're all thinking similarly. And to Mary's point, which I actually wasn't there quite, but I think it's a good one. The same logic could apply to the stucco panels that are below what is emulating the window sill height, because this is kind of a lighter element that does somewhat contrast. Not suggesting it, just saying I wouldn't be opposed to it if that were proposed.
You can't see it, but I'm nodding my head.
Chris, are you all set?
Yeah, I don't have any other questions.
Casey?
Yeah, I've got a couple questions. First one would be kind of a clarification. If you start comparing the west elevation to south and east, the knee wall height appears to change between the drawings, which also affects the sill height or the trim height.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember why that is. Oh, it's because the actually the west elevation has the correct elevation, so that knee wall is actually lower than is showing in the south and east. So thanks for catching that. It's there's a jog. I don't know if you can see in the photographs. Could you bring the photographs back? The one that shows that condition. Yeah, on the far right, you can see there where the screen panel drops down from the knee wall.
Mm-hmm.
So actually the knee wall is higher than what it shows in that front elevation. So the side and rear elevation, I think, are correct. So there's less glass, more brick. So the correction is the west elevation is wrong. The south and east elevations are correct in terms of the height of the existing brick wall.
Okay, so the west elevation, the sill will move up along
Correct.
the knee wall. And then as you turn the corner to the south and east elevation, you're going to keep that datum point as opposed to dropping the windows like they currently are.
That's the idea, yes. That's
Okay.
why there's the, that's where the mistake occurred in the drawing.
Okay, no problem. And then this is just a question, not necessarily something that anyone else on the board would agree with. But looking at the photos, all of the other windows on the front of the house appear to be probably casement, but they definitely have divided light. Just wondering, did you explore kind of using the same window language that's right there adjacent to it with the smaller muttons and breaking up of the lights? Did you explore that for the new windows?
I'm saying that I didn't because I'm trying to imitate the screen panels. I'm trying to make it, you know, the profiles to match those of the screen frames. And instead of screen, we've got as much glass as possible. So I was going for almost pretending it's still a screen-in porch from the streetscape perspective.
Right. No, I understand that. I'm just also, I can picture taking that same window that's right next to it and repeating it 3 times, you know, with just a thicker division where you currently have frames, and then having still the divided light, it could tie in better because, I mean, it's not going to read as a screened-in porch anymore. It is going to read as window. And now my question is, you're so close to the window next, you know, 2 feet away. Do you want them to read as being similar language, or do you actually want that kind of contrast when they're in the same plane, the same sill height, same head heights, and only 2 or 3 feet apart? That's my question. Again,
Yeah, I mean,
other
I can
people
see-
might not agree with me.
Yeah, I can see why you would suggest that. I was going at it from, it's a screen-in porch. Let's not pretend it's not, you know? So that's why I was trying to imitate the proportions and the transparency of the screens. I actually thought that the board would prefer that we treat it more like a screen-in porch. So that's why I was going with the windows that match the profiles of the screens.
Okay.
You know, I'm just gonna interject something on and ride your tail there, Casey. David, the one thing that I kind of am concerned about is I understand what you're trying to capture, but you know, if the screen-in porch, especially with that light on, has a really nice sort of translucent or transparency all the way through, and I imagine it being in the existing condition it is, and then adding that bathroom and then having that wall in midsection of that porch and all of that being blocked off. And then when you go to the wall that you're proposing to put all the panels and everything in, it's even foreshortening the view through. So I'm not sure it's going to have the statement as a screen porch. It's just the way I'm kind of, when I hear what everyone is saying, and then when I look at this, and I'm very familiar with the houses over there, I have seen some nice additions put on, and they all work, and they've all carried that window language throughout the house. The other question I have for you is, are those footers existing underneath, or are you going to have to add footers?
Right. So the idea is we're going to support the roof and basically demolish everything out from under it. There's
Okay.
a concrete slab with questionable footings. So we're
Yeah.
gonna almost be starting from scratch, except we'll temporarily support the roof.
And you're gonna keep the original brick wall?
Correct.
Garden. Okay. I'm gonna
Can I
turn
make-
this, I'm gonna turn
I
this
make-
over to Fran.
Can
Um,
I add something? This is Ron
Sure,
Goldman.
absolutely. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
If you can go back to the photos of the front of the house, okay, that photo there, on the window all the way to the left, before I bought the house, yeah, that one, the previous owner put in a casement window. You know, they must have replaced that. So that's a new window. And then the window I think you're talking about that's right next to the porch, they don't open. They're nice. They look beautiful on the inside, but they're really not functional. I can't even open them. So actually tomorrow, I'm meeting with a guy from that place on Jefferson Road, the window place.
Rochester Colonial?
Rochester Colonial. And they're gonna make suggestions, but since I have a crank casement window on the left side, I was thinking about replacing that window and actually the window on the side of the family room there also. I was gonna replace those two windows.
Okay. Does he have to throw that under this review? Jeff?
If they're the same size, then it would.
Okay.
Yeah, they would be the same size and everything, and the window on the left looks, you know, it looks
Looks
like
good.
the other window.
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of old steel windows over there in that neighborhood.
I'm not sure what they are. They're thin, they're drafty,
Yep.
you know, they got
These-
storm windows now that really. And then the only other comment I had is the addition itself, or the porch itself, there's about a 10-inch drop when you walk out of the family room now. And then the goal is to make it all flush. I think that's our plan. When you walk out of the new, you know, bathroom here, there's gonna have to be a little step.
Okay. Fran, do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I do like the comments about the adding divided lights on the windows, at least on the west elevation. Those three, I think is a good remark that was made. But the rest of it, no, I don't have any other.
Okay. So David and Ron, you guys can hang out and listen to us deliberate. You won't be able to participate, or you can call Jeff's office first thing in the morning and get our answer. Appreciate you guys presenting tonight.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Yeah. You
Bye.
too. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad you were both able to come. Having the perspective of the architect and homeowner is not something we often have, and I think that was really a good thing here, so thank you.
Oh, and
Thank
the
you.
photographs too. I hope the photographs helped. I'd like to have seen
They
those
do.
on some of those other ones.
Yeah, they always help.
Well, you know what we're looking for now, Dave.
Well, they weren't there for South Winton or Westland or Westfall Road. No photographs were submitted.
But you got a template now. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Next on our agenda are signs. And we will be looking at 1598, 1057 East Henrietta Road, directory sign and monument sign. Anyone representing this?
No, not for signs.
Okay. Is this the old USA payroll building?
I'm not sure. There's a bunch of stuff in there.
Yeah, it is.
Is the
Okay.
base existing?
No, it's not.
Sign base. Aluminum clad with digital print. Oh,
Yeah,
yuck.
Yeah, I would recommend they use real brick.
Yeah, I think we want to require it. That's not gonna look good day one, and it's certainly not gonna look good 3 years from now.
Yeah, and we've refused it on a few other signs in the past, and the foam brick as well. So that's one note.
so you're saying you're gonna require a brick structure or brick veneer or what?
I would do a brick base.
So masonry base, yeah.
You know, whether it's veneer over CMUs or what, but
Yeah, and I think we should say brick rather than just masonry.
right.
They could paint CMU and really thumb their nose at us here.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you gotta hope they do, they top it properly with coping and all that, and
So that's what I would
So-
recommend.
So wait, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to go down the line. Mary?
no, the sign itself is the kind I like. It's simple and it's easy to read. I agree with the base is flimsy and I think it should be made out of brick. So I'm fine with that.
Brian?
Brick is good. Are they lighting this at night? They don't call out
No.
anything.
It says
Nope.
non-illuminated. So both
Okay.
signs will need brick.
Yeah.
All
Chris?
sides,
Sorry, Chris.
all sides of base shall be brick,
Yeah.
or base shall be brick. My question is the name of the business 1057 East Henrietta Business Center?
No, there's a sign inside called Miraclone, Pine Environmental, and Step by Step. And
It's the
Z-Bar.
next sign.
Yeah.
So this is like an address sign.
Yeah, it's an address sign, and then the
Oh,
property.
I see. There's
tenant
more.
sign is-
Are those are like dummy tenants, right?
No, I assume that's who's in there.
Oh, okay.
I assume that's Z-Bart's local corporate office. Miraclone, Pine Environmental. I don't know who they are, but I assume that's who that is.
Yeah.
So Chris, you're all set?
Yeah, I think so. I'm pulling it up because I just need to understand. We've
Casey?
got the address sign and we've got the sign inside. Are those two different applications?
No, I think they're the same.
They're on the same one.
One's a
They,
Look
they're
like
getting
they
a
were-
they have a variance in for this time.
All right, I'm done.
Casey?
I agree with what's been said, so I'm good.
Fran?
I again agree with the brick base, and that's the only other comment. That's the only comment I have.
Okay. So my question to Jeff is, does this get tabled for a brick base or do we just require it?
I think it can be required. It's something that I can check when they drop off the application.
Yeah, because I don't mind the signage or the lettering. It's the base that's the concern. And then I assume that they're not putting any lighting on there.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
So you
everyone,
don't want to stipulate how they finish that brick base on top?
you know, they can have a capstone and a bit of an overhang.
And you
And then-
trust them to do that when they submitted a brick stamped?
Feel free to guide us.
Well, no, I'm asking everyone.
Yeah.
I mean,
My
that's,
thought is it should come back because they could make that very badly with a row lock where you end up with the cores of the brick exposed on the ends.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
you know,
Actually,
a
yeah,
metal
that's-
cap. It could
That's
be.
a good point.
So we'll
Skylight
table,
Signs is not known for doing brick, from my understanding. So
so we'll table it
Okay.
and request a brick base.
Right. And maybe they come back with something totally different on the base, but
Yeah. We can
I
say
think we
we
should be
like,
clear.
yeah, we can say we like the monument. It's the base that needs to be adjusted.
You
yeah,
want
when
me-
they say aluminum clad with digital print black brick graphic, that's all Skylight stuff. When you
Yeah.
say brick, it's something that's out of their wheelhouse, but Flom Management Company should have known that to begin with. So
Yeah.
They can either get the contractors that they need, or they can come back with some different base, that totally different design, but yeah, as designed. Swing and a miss.
Do you want to see details on how the brick's finished for weather?
So you could word it, let me just throw something out here for the board's consideration. You could word it that, the monument, the signage looks good. The faux painted brick should not be used. Resubmit with a brick base, including detailing or some other alternative.
Yeah, right, or equivalent, right.
Okay.
I would use the word alternative simply because I think that if they don't want to go that masonry route, they'll come back with something totally different. I don't want to force them into a brick base. If something else would suffice, have at it, let us see it.
Yeah. And it is a brick building, and I think if they take the language from the building, which they're trying to do, it looks like with the signage, and carry it all the way through. So are we good with tabled and coming back for a brick base?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. I know I wasn't there for 1AR-1, but Mary, do you approve or disapprove?
That one. Oh, yeah, that's fine for me.
Okay, Brian,
yeah, I was fine with that.
Chris,
I would vote approve with conditions. And the two conditions I'm going to suggest are at the east elevation, repeat the eave detail shown on the left side of the gable at the right, and also add window at north, the rear elevation, second floor, per discussion.
okay. Did you get that, Jeff?
I can email it to you. I was taking my notes.
No, that's good. That's an easy one.
Okay.
Casey?
I agree with what Chris said. Those are both conditions that I think we need to put on there.
Okay, Fran?
I agree to approve with the conditions as noted.
Okay, I am not voting on this, but Jeff, please note that it's approved with conditions.
All right.
Is there a quorum without you and me, Stuart?
What, are you working with them?
No, the town board forgot to approve me, so they're gonna make it retroactive, but they're not, their meeting is later this week.
Yeah, I think you're okay.
Just four.
Okay.
I got sworn in this morning in the parking lot.
How cute.
I know.
Congratulations.
Take photos? Did you hire a photographer?
I kind of want to be like, hey, Dan, let's do a selfie together, but I didn't. I played it cool.
Ha! You're so suave.
Oh, I tried.
Okay, next is 1AR-2-20, 575 South Winton Road, Jim Fahey Design Construction New Home. Mary?
Well, I think that David Burrows had a point. It would have been nice to see the adjacent houses here, but yeah, the building itself is fine. You know, obviously there's the size issue, but we don't have enough information to speak about that.
So are
Can
you
I-
okay approving it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
say something about that?
Uh-huh.
So I did look. So all right. So originally, you see that it's across from Monterey, and those are a lot of large houses. But actually, if you look up where this address is, it's in the middle of all the small little Cape-style houses. Still mostly Tudor, but they're all 1.5 story. And if you continue to go like towards the city, a few more properties, then they start to get back into 2-story houses. But the 2 properties that they're looking at combining are actually all 1.5 story. So once I started looking at that, I don't know, I'm just starting to question the scale of it, especially the height of it.
Okay, so noted.
So do some Googling, people.
Brian,
Yeah, I was fine with it.
Chris?
So I was actually going to bring up the exact same point that Casey made. And I don't have any issue at all with this design. It is well proportioned, well appointed, and we know Jim Fahey, and we know that he does really excellent work with these. It's the location. And I don't know if that's an ARB decision or if that's a planning board decision. Because for me on the ARB, I could say, yeah, there you go. So I was looking at these during their presentation, and it's quite easy to make the case that this is excessively dissimilar from the context. And I was only looking at that side of the street. I don't know if you swing around and look at Monterey.
Swing around, I think there's full stories.
Yeah, so, but you know, they're not really present on that side of the street. So I'm not convinced either way.
Well, it's certainly true that a main road can handle the scale better than a smaller road. Oh, sorry about that. A larger house.
Yeah, and I don't know what that means for the future of Winton, but I think one of the things we really need to think about when we think about like the applicability or what the rationale behind our board is thinking about what it's going to do to property values adjacent, right? I mean, I think that's part of the whole thing, and I just don't know, right? If I lived at 560 or wherever, that little white cape that we see off to the right, what am I going to think of this going up right next to my house?
Yeah,
and more importantly, what is this going to do to the value of my house? Is it going to negatively impact it?
Well, specifically, I know this person over here into the house to the north, she came to the meeting and talked in favor of the project at the planning board.
So she's already
One of the
spoken
things-
in favor of it. I couldn't hear you very well, Jeff.
Yeah, she spoke in favor of it at the planning board meeting.
Okay, well,
One of the-
that's helpful. It makes, okay.
One of the things I've noticed about Brighton in general is, you can have a smaller Cape style house next to, 6,000-7,000 square foot house next to another Cape. I think that's one of the things that makes Brighton what it is. I mean, you go to any neighborhood and you can see that. I don't think this is an exception. I think the difference here is you're talking about 2 lots. And I like the design. I like the location. I like that he actually pulled some of the details from the existing house into the new house. So it is tricky to sort of assess that.
Fran, you have anything to add?
No, I'm fine with it.
So what here's kind of what I'm observing is there's a very strong delineation between pre-Depression era housing in Brighton and post-war. And I think you're running into that divide in the neighborhoods here. As you get north of this, you're going to run into larger houses, and behind this to the north, you're going to run into larger houses on Oak Lane or Oakdale and in that area. You get south of this, you're going to be running into those contemporary one-level homes. So, and then you're into a commercial district. I understand the scale, it could be an issue. And I agree with the architecture. I trust Jim. If the board feels strongly about it, we can ask them to come back and scale it down a little bit. But that's up to you guys. I came in partway through this, so I'm not gonna vote on this. So Mary, you're okay with it?
Yeah.
Brian, you stated you're okay. Chris is okay, but has a height issue. Casey's okay.
No, yeah, I would not bring it back for redesign. I mean, it is just a much larger house and is combining two lots, and there's no getting around that. And so putting all that in the realm of the planning board in their jurisdiction, just looking solely at the architecture and the sensitivity from a details composition perspective, I don't have any objection. My vote is approve.
Okay.
Yeah, he did say he had all of his variances already, correct? I think he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay.
And Casey, you're okay, or
Yeah,
yay or
I'm
nay?
okay approving it. Just wanted to make sure we all knew the setting.
Yep, and that was a great point you brought up. Fran, you're okay?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so note approved as presented. Who knows what the economy is going to do in the near future, so maybe they'll never build it.
I was thinking maybe the whole Winton Avenue will become another,
Norwood.
testament to capital advancement of our region. Having trouble with words tonight. Sorry.
No, you're doing well. At least I'm understanding you. Next is 1 AR 3-20, 99 Westland Road, Teresa Bender, front porch addition. Everyone good with that? What was shown?
Can we comment at all about the back? We can see it. Is that in our purview?
We've done it in the past. It's visible.
I just have trouble with the roof. I think it's really awkward.
Yeah, the cutaway.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I think you'd end up, there's a scale thing going on with this, and my opinion is, otherwise you end up with kind of that octagonal roof form, which had a low slope. That gets kind of weird looking in itself. So I'm actually fine with it.
So Chris, I'm going to put you down as okay. Fran, do you approve the porch?
Yes.
Okay. Mary?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what that eave looks like underneath that cutaway. Does it go to flush at the center and then come out to the overhang, or what? I'm just curious. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to say. It's all one
Right,
plane.
well, nothing.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Chris, I already got you. Casey?
I just questioned the depth and the depth of the overhang on the porch. It looks deeper than what's happening in the rest of the house. And from a side view, it's kind of it looks a little odd and extreme. So if you go to the next sheet, 3.
Are you talking the depth of the overhang or the depth, the proportion of the porch itself?
The depth of the overhang.
Yeah, it's like a big floppy hat.
Yeah, and like,
Well, can
What-
you
what's
want to
she
go down to
called
the
that roof type?
photos?
what was that roof type called that she kept saying?
The jerkin head, which is a
Jerkin,
hip-on
that-
gable. Yeah, that's
That's
what's
a new
happening
one
at-
for me.
I
It's-
thought that
it's
was a
called a-
pickle. I thought that was a kind of pickle.
That's a gherkin. Um,
So I guess
Like
I would
the-
just expect that to start, that chamfer, if you will, to begin happening over the actual structure. But this roof is pulled out so far that the jerkin head, whatever, is happening completely outside of the porch.
Yeah.
It seems
see.
odd to me.
What sold me was when we looked at the photos. And I think you scroll down, you can see. Yeah, especially that one at the top left, and you can see what they were talking about with the presence of that overhang.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So do you think they're just not drawing it as deep on the existing house?
Well, I mean,
Because I mean,
I
the
also
drawing
don't.
does look at,
To me, it looked very similar in the drawing that we're just looking at from the side, the comparing. Yeah, I mean, compare the eave on the front to the overhang on the porch. Here, if you hold still, I can, this dimension versus this dimension to me looks very similar. And whether or not this ought to be just a touch, a smidge more pronounced, I don't know. I mean, it's not my choice. I call these the Dutch gables. And I'm used to seeing them up high on the eave, not used to seeing them down low, but it's there. It's an element in the existing house.
Probably
I
the
don't
same
think it
angle of
looks.
elevation.
Well, and
They're
on the main house, it's a hip on a gable, which is what this jerkin head. And so on the porch, you have the hip on the gable that's then on a shed. So it's just kind of complicating it.
Yeah, although
Yeah.
So, Kay, let's see, who was it? Fran, are you okay to approve or disapprove?
I'm okay to approve.
Everyone good?
Yeah.
sure. Yep.
Was that a comment, someone? Okay, so note approved as presented. Okay, next is 1AR-4-20. I am not voting on this. Mary,
Fine.
Brian,
Yeah, this is fine.
Chris,
deny with extreme prejudice. No, I'm fine with it. There's nothing here. It's,
I can't retract what I wrote down now. Casey,
I think I missed in the presentation, what is the finish of the railing? Because I didn't find it in the drawings, but did they say, is it painted to match something or is it galvanized aluminum? What do we know?
I think it matches what they put in earlier this spring.
But I don't remember what that was.
I thought he
I think
said it
it
was
was
painted
painted.
steel and it was the dark
Mhm.
color matching the existing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fran,
Approve.
okay, so note approved as presented. 1AR-5-20, 374 Hollywood Ave, David Burrows, convert a screen porch into a bathroom and foyer and mudroom. Mary,
How do we allow for the changes, the alternatives we discussed in the approval?
Well, do you table it and have them come back?
Well, that's what I'm asking. I personally don't know what would be the better thing to do. I think they have the idea. There is an architect involved, which is consoling to a certain degree. So what do the others think?
Brian?
Well, the conversations between stucco or doing more of a cement board that came up, I thought that was interesting. I think the other thing is that above this, you've got the existing board and batten that could come into this as well on the backside, because it seems like you can kind of see how that could get pulled down instead of coming up with that stucco look. Just seems like it would be heavier with stucco, but that's just me looking at it and thinking about it. As far as the window treatments on the front, it almost feels like we need to table it so that we have a solid solution going forward. Because right now we don't really know what's going to be done.
So you're for tabling?
Yeah.
Okay. Chris?
So my thought in general is that there is a precedent for not so great conversions of screen porches into habitable space. And a lot of that is in the nature of it itself, right? You're not tearing it down and building something that might be more appropriate. You're trying to work with what you got. So it's inherently kind of the low cost or budget conscious approach. So with that in mind, this is a hard thing to pull off. And I think they're close. I would just argue that they shouldn't use stucco at all, that a board and batten with a cement board would be my recommendation. They'll have to propose whatever they want to do, is probably the best bet here. And it probably actually save them a couple of bucks. But I don't know how to do that, making it a condition. I hate to bring them back.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I don't know how to not bring them back. And I think that's a little bit of my dilemma, because I don't think I would actually articulate if they went away from stucco, and if they agreed to, right? We're being a little presumptuous there. I think I would just follow the pattern that's established by the screen porch and leave it at that.
Or are you tabling or approving?
Wasn't it clear that I'm clearly entirely wishy-washy on this?
That's the way I am too. Can we ask a question? How much of a window is there between today and submittal for next month's meeting? I don't know what the time frame is.
Probably 2 weeks.
Yeah, but if it's a resubmittal, then if they give it to me a week before the meeting, I usually am okay with that.
Well, then I think I would be inclined to get give them support for the decision, the things that we discussed in the meeting, and await their final decision on what material and treatment they want to use at the next meeting.
And who knows what's going to happen in this window meeting tomorrow? You may get some good ideas.
Right, and that will give them opportunities to cover that window as well.
Yep.
Okay.
So I would just want to be clear from my personal position that I'm not of the mind that the windows on the front of the screen porch need to be different than what's been presented, because I kind of get that this should contrast in the divided lights, then try to make it look like it's trying to be part of the original composition of habitable space, which it's not, right? It's not going to look that way unless they do something a lot more invasive or deliberate here, which I don't think is their intent. So
Right.
I wouldn't want to make that a condition. In other words, I wouldn't vote for that condition. But I would be okay tabling it and just saying, you know, we support the idea of a different material than stucco, suggesting perhaps a board and batten with a cement board or similar material. Because I think too, the other thing is we're giving them a pretty clear indication, and I think there was actually a little bit of consensus between the homeowner and David Burrows on that direction. So I don't think it would be too much of a burden. In other words, I don't want to like just unnecessarily create a hassle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so my vote then is tabled with the recommendations that I noted.
Okay.
I think
you
too,
have-
based on I was going to say, you know, based on what it is that he wants to accomplish and, you know, what it is that we're talking about, I think, you know, what Dave comes back with is going to look really great for the house. I think ultimately, because you're right, we don't see a lot of solutions for porches that are terribly successful, but when, you know, with something like this, I think that they can pull it off and it's going to look great. So better to have an additional 2 weeks to look at it.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna move on to Casey and Fran, let their input happen. Casey?
I just wanted to question, someone said no stucco. Was that everywhere or just pertaining to the upper fake windows? Just so I'm on the same page as you guys.
I'm thinking that the stucco base is not really the right choice either. And that was building off of a comment that Mary had about how this really contrasts with the massive stucco house as a very light, airy appendage. And when she pointed that out, I think, yeah, you know what? The stucco on any of this is probably not the right choice. That's my position. That's my opinion.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I agree with tabling it just because there's so many different ideas that were thrown out and that both David and the owner seemed to agree on, but we didn't really come to any clear conclusions on which direction they would go. So I definitely agree on tabling because of that, just to allow them to really just get in sync with each other and update the drawings. And then, yeah, I would definitely at least put in the notes to update the west elevation to accurately represent the height of the wall and the windows if we're going to table it, just so it is more clear next week or next month. But that's it. I agree with what you guys have said.
Okay, Fran?
I'm good with tabling it to address the stucco with another material.
Okay. So note, tabled as presented with the following recommendations. And you got the recommendations written down, Jeff?
Yeah, use alternative material to stucco on south and east elevation.
And then correct west elevation.
Update the west elevation to better represent current conditions.
I wish there was a way we could express our support for this project without, it feels like David Burrows is always getting punitive treatment by the board.
Wow.
I know, Stuart, I felt bad because you cut me off and I was going to compliment him, but then you took it and ran with it.
Are
Cut you off, Casey?
No, Stuart, right, he said he went on with my comment, but then he continued and then he passed off to someone else and I never got to compliment him, but it does. It looks, at least with windows, it still looks light and airy in the front, which a lot of these additions don't. They close them in and it looks horrible.
Yeah, I think I would like to say, if we can say it, the board supports the architect's idea of maintaining the look of the original screen porch structure as much as possible. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like we should.
The meeting's
Something nice.
recorded. If he ever has an issue, the meeting's recorded. He can see what.
He's online now, so he can hear you guys.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay. Well, we salute you.
Yeah. We think this is great. We just want to see the final version.
Okay. So I think that's everything.
Yep. Thank you all, as always.
Yeah. Happy New Year to everybody. Good to
Happy
see you.
New Year.
Yeah.
New Year. Hey,
Everyone
by the
stay
way,
healthy.
what happened last month in lieu of our usual annual celebration?
Nothing. We were boring. We said goodbye.
Yeah,
Oh.
we didn't drink a beer in front of the TV, in front of the screen. I mean,
Well, that's what I was wondering. There was a talk of a virtual thing, which
It
No.
is recorded here, guys.
Maybe in the summer,